Center and your host for today. So welcome to EatWell Bites, sponsored by the USC Healthy Campus EatWell Subcommittee. Today's topic is Prep Like a Pro, Unveiling the Secrets of Successful Meal Prepping. Throughout today's session, you're welcome to use the chat to make comments or ask questions specific to today's topic. At the end, we'll have some time for announcements and sharing some exciting information with all of you, as well as an evaluation form and some raffle prizes. Please make sure to mute to minimize any background noise. So I'd like to thank our EatWell co-leads, Professor Carrie Kreutzer with the USC Leonard Davis School of Gerontology, Keck School of Medicine, and Lindsey Pine, dining dietitian with USC Hospitality. And on behalf of our Healthy Campus EatWell subcommittee, we're excited to introduce and share EatWell Bites, which is a monthly bite-sized nutrition education webinar series occurring the first Thursday of every month. The goal is to provide you with practical tips, hands-on demonstrations, resources, and support for faculty and staff on ways to improve health and quality of life through nutrition and healthy eating habits. Over the next 30 minutes, we'll be sharing our expertise with all of you, as well as engaging you in some dialogue. I'd like to thank the members of the EatWell subcommittee, who all have been working very hard to create a health-promoting food environment at USC. And you'll hear more about our resources, programs, and initiatives coming soon. And before I turn it over, I'd like to remind you, as always, to feel free to move anytime during today's session. You can stand, stretch, move in any manner that feels best for you. Now I'd like to introduce our presenters for today. Our very own co-lead of EatWell, Lindsey Pine, registered dietitian with Hospitality, and Chef Nathan Martinez, senior kitchen manager with USC Residential Dining. And with that, I'll turn it over to Lindsey.
All right, thanks, Julie. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for being here with me and Chef Nathan today. We are joining you from the lab Gastropub over on campus. So since you're here, I am assuming that you are interested in meal prepping. So we're going to engage our first poll question right now. How often do you currently engage in some sort of meal prepping or meal planning activity? So we'll give it a couple seconds here and see what our answers are. It's looking, okay. These numbers change very quickly. Okay, so it looks like a lot of you, about 40%, are actually already doing this weekly. So that's amazing. While a good third haven't started. So hopefully we can give you some good tips today. So I guess we can end that poll, Julie, because I have one more poll question for you.
It looks like both of them are up there, Lindsey. Both
they
of
are?
questions. Yep, and people have answered both. Yep.
You can scroll. Okay,
scroll down.
If you scroll down, there's a second question. So what motivates you the most to start or to continue meal prepping or meal planning? So it looks like, okay, eating healthier, that's an obvious one. It looks like most people, that's the reason why they want to meal prep. But saving time is right behind that with about a quarter of the answers. Definitely all very good reasons. So thank you for sharing that information with us. It was really, really insightful. So Julie, I think you can go on to the next slide now. Okay, so first off, I had mentioned the words both prepping and planning. They definitely go together, but the terms are different. So meal planning is figuring out what you're going to eat, while meal prepping is taking that additional step to actually do the cooking for multiple days at one time. Okay, so why should you do this? There's so many great reasons. If you're looking for a healthier way to eat, you have more control over preparing balanced meals and portion control. Also, if you already have food made, you're going to be less likely to order a pizza when you're tired and get home from work. It also saves time in the kitchen. There's less stress at the grocery store. You save money because you're sticking to that list that you made. And then it also, very importantly, cuts down on food waste as well. Okay, so we have one more poll question. And if you scroll down, I guess, oh, there we go. Okay, so the next question is, what is your biggest meal prep or meal planning challenge? You could have all of these challenges, but which one is the biggest? So it's looking like, okay, variety and finding time. Finding time is starting to win there. Yeah, that's definitely can definitely be a challenge. So finding time followed by variety in meals. So, okay. So next slide, Julie, please. Okay, so there are different types of meal prepping, and one's not better than the other. Just choose whatever one fits best with your lifestyle. You're more likely to stick with it. So you have traditional meal prepping where you cook everything on one day and then you portion each meal into individual containers. There's also a method called cook once, eat twice, where you're going to get multiple meals out of one recipe. And then on the right there, you have something called buffet meal prepping, where you're prepping batches of staple items to mix and match during the week. That's actually my personal favorite, just making a bunch of very simple items, and then you can quickly just mix and match them throughout the week there. Next slide, please. Okay, so some tips to get started with the do's here. So the biggest driver for your success is really to get organized, have a game plan before you go shopping. Do not wing it. I do not recommend that. Change your menu up each week so you don't get bored and tired of the same food, and then just give up. Also, choose recipes with different cooking methods. This will save you time. You don't want to cook everything in the oven because then you're going to have to wait for that oven space to be free. Also, this one I can speak from personal experience. Choose good spill-proof containers. You don't want those ending up all over your car or your bag. I prefer glass containers. They're more eco-friendly, and then you can also throw them in the dishwasher. Next slide. So the don'ts. Don't choose complicated recipes, or else that first time meal prepping will probably be your last. Remember that simple recipes can be delicious. You don't need to get super fancy. With scheduling, just make it work for your schedule. You don't have to choose Sunday to make your food. Make it on whatever day works for you. Also, make sure your containers are clean and ready to go. That's just one less thing you have to do while you're meal prepping. Something that's very important is food safety. Cooked food does not last forever. And you're actually going to receive a handy food storage cheat sheet with recommended use by times. I think that'll be handy for folks.
Talking about the obvious.
And then finally, definitely clean your kitchen before you start. Prep will go so much smoother. Next slide. So not everything has to be made from scratch. If you're short on time and patience, definitely use those healthier convenience foods such as pre-chopped garlic, bagged slaws, roasted peppers, frozen veggies. If you hate chopping garlic, buy it pre-chopped. That's definitely a shortcut that I use just because I hate getting the smell of garlic off on my hands. I can't get it off, so I use the chopped garlic. So utilize whatever tools that you need to ensure your success. Next slide. So here's just a few more examples of some healthier convenience foods that can really help you out. I particularly love canned salmon and canned beans. If you're like me, you're on a tight budget, but you still want seafood, canned salmon, canned tuna are great options. I love to make salmon cakes with canned salmon. I actually add the mashed canned beans to that to extend it to make even more. And Trader Joe's has some really great pre-made sauces that you can use. So you could just grill up a simple protein, top it with a pre-made sauce or a salsa, and you've got a super simple, delicious dish. Next slide. So here's the bowl formula. You can basically turn any bunch of ingredients, throw them into a bowl by combining a protein with some cooked grains, veggies, sauce, toppings. This is literally how I eat most of my meals when I bring my lunch to work. And you're actually going to get a copy of this handout. There are some more suggestions and options than there are on this slide. But again, they're just suggestions just to get you going. And actually, Chef Nathan is going to show you an example of this in just a minute. Okay, so now I'm going to actually turn it over to Chef Nathan to show us a traditional meal prepping breakfast. So vanilla almond cherry overnight oats. He's also going to do a cook once, eat twice shrimp fajita sheet pan meal. And I just want to say that we have a very talented chef with us here today. So please type in those cooking questions into the chat box. We're going to be peppering your questions in throughout his demo. So definitely don't be shy, ask those questions. So I'm going to now hand it over to Nate.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. As Lindsay stated, we're going to start with our cherry vanilla almond overnight oat. And with that, to speed things along, I kind of did some pre-prep, as maybe you should do as well when you're thinking about preparing these items. So we're going to start with our 1 2/3 cups of oats. Then we're going to spoon in our 5 tablespoons of almond butter. And then pour in our vanilla extract, as well as our maple syrup. Oops, don't want to take that with me. And then as well as our chia seeds. And then lastly, we will take our this is our almond milk, unsweetened. Pour that in. And you're gonna want to probably try to do this one overnight to work out best, to get all the flavors to incorporate, have your chia seed bloom as well as your oats. Give it a nice good stir, mix it so it looks nice and smooth and creamy. And then after that, when you're done for the 24 hours, you can put it in the container that you choose to use. I have it like this, and it looks nice and pretty and solid to enjoy with, as well as then topping with our slivered almonds, followed by our nicely seasoned cherries that we have. It's nice and sweet. Do a couple like that on top to get it in there. There are multiple options that you could do with this as well. If you wanted to take your cherries and maybe macerate them and smash them up, you can always add them with some agave instead of sugar, and then kind of mix it on there, and that would be what you kind of look like for your breakfast that morning. The next item we're going to go into is our sheet pan shrimp fajitas. When you're using your peppers at home, try to use all of it. You can use the bottom and then just core out the stem right here, take your seeds out, and it's all usable, so you're not wasting product as well. And then make sure you're always washing your vegetables. Same thing with our green onions. I take the top off about 1/4 inch, and then the bottom as well. And you could use the whole green onion, up to you, or you could just use the green onion as it stands as well. And then of course you have your fresh limes. So we're going to start with our peppers that I pre-cut ahead of time. So we have a nice red pepper here as well. If you have the opportunity to be in the stores, you can get multicolor. You can even add orange and yellow peppers as well to this. And then we have some red onions as well to throw in there. Now you can choose to, as I like to say, layer your flavors. So give it a nice little bit of salt to start off with, and then a touch of oil so you can mix it through. And then give it a nice stir. Once your peppers come out of the oven, you can give it a nice little try, see if you need to add additional seasoning. The best way to keep it healthy is not to add and just enjoy those natural flavors that come out when roasting. So I'll put them on my chip pan over here, spread them out nice and evenly. So when you get them in the 400-degree oven, it will get a nice color from there. And then next we will start with our shrimp seasoning on this, and this is gonna take multiple types of seasoning, but it will create a nice good flavor in the end. So on the recipe, you should probably take about 1 pound of large shrimp. These are 16-20. You can get bigger ones if you'd like. I would enjoy that as well. We're gonna put a touch of chili powder in, a touch of smoked paprika to give it a nice good flavoring, some garlic, some cumin, some coriander, and then some dry oregano, and then a touch of oil as well, so you can get a nice little mix into there. and then give it a nice stir. It should be evenly coated throughout, so you're having it nice and mixed well, seasoned, nicely coated, so you get that full flavor on there as well. I might need to add a little more oil. And then again, you're gonna place these in the oven. Depending on your oven, it could take about 15 minutes to do your peppers, 7 to 8 to do your shrimp at 400 degrees. I'm gonna pan this out. And then you want a nice spread out, nice and evenly. If you have the time, make sure you're turning your shrimp over in the oven and rotating it so you can get it even cooked. And then we'll have those there. And then when you're all done, you'll see this beautiful outcome that we have here of our shrimp and our peppers. Nice color, nice little caramelization with more flavor. And then we're gonna take that, and at the very end, we're gonna add some cilantro and some green onions and a touch of fresh lime juice. Give it a nice mix.
Hey, Chef, I'm just gonna jump in here.
Sure.
So one of our participants made a comment that sliced raw bell peppers are a great snack if you want something. Oh, I'm on mute, sorry.
You were fine.
I'm okay. I'm moving my computer. Sorry
You're
about that. If you want an extra taste, you can dip it in hummus. So speaking of healthy snacks like that, what other types of crunchy vegetables would you recommend for maybe if you were gonna have it with some hummus or a healthy dip like that?
Besides peppers, I mean, you have like, the traditional stuff, your carrots, your celery, broccoli,
Jicama.
jicama as well is very good. Even,
Radishes.
radishes could be definitely nice in there. Carrots, you can even roast them ahead of time and then have them ready to go. Add some honey on them as well to get some good flavor, or even some agave. So that would be our finished product right here. There's a nice shrimp fajita. So what you could do if you have leftover shrimp and fajita mixture is that I had some farro left over, so I'm gonna take that. It's a nice healthy ancient grain. Then you can cook it up, get it nice and ready, saute it in your pan, and then reheat your peppers and shrimp, and then get a nice little mixture and have a nice bowl for it afterwards. So that's a second option for our continuing on reusable products that we have. And then you can always add like a chipotle crema to it, an avocado salsa, even do fresh avocado on there. Sky's the limit where you can take your food and run with it. So there's multiple options to do. Rice also, you can even make if you have leftover cilantro from your prepping, you can make a cilantro pesto, do a cilantro rice to add to your shrimp, creates great flavor. When using the farro and adding some fresh lemon juice to it, be careful because it does absorb the liquid quite a bit, so you might not have that flavoring there, so you might need to add a little bit more as well.
And if I can say something about the cilantro too, is that just from a food waste perspective, the cilantro stems can definitely be used, especially in things if you want to reuse them in pestos. But yeah, we throw away cilantro stems, but there's so much flavor in them, so we can definitely use those. So okay, I'm seeing a few comments in the chat asking about if canned and jarred foods are healthy. So it totally depends on what the manufacturer puts in them. So that's where you need to actually look at the ingredient list. Because obviously some are going to be better than others. Trader Joe's does have a lot of really good ones. And someone also mentioned a concern about aluminum cans. If you don't want to eat from an aluminum can, you don't have to. There's also a lot of products with that come in jars, glass jars. There's also some companies that will line their cans with BPA-free material. I believe Eden Food is a brand, and actually they have a lot of great low or no sodium canned products as well. So it's really all about variety. You're not eating everything from a can, but you're just using those items in order to help you to just be more efficient, save time, and just make life a little bit easier on yourself.
And Lindsay and Chef Nathan, a question around sauces. If someone doesn't want to eat the same thing over and over again, is there a sauce you would recommend, like a jar of sauce that you can use maybe for different kinds of meals, a variety of meals during the week, and then just be done with that jar of sauce and not have to reuse it again?
I mean, there's multiple sauces out there. I mean, tomato sauces go a long, long way. You can turn them into a, spicy sauce, even a pink vodka sauce. You can add them in with pestos as well. There's all kinds of nice sauces you can add to everything. Trader Joe's and I believe even Whole Foods have a large variety of different things that you have the options to have now to use multiple sauces for anything. And a lot of these products are interchangeable. Even if you are just like we just did, we did a simple roast on our peppers, and then you could take a Szechuan sauce, maybe some leftover shrimp, add it to some rice, then you can create 4 meals out of one dish at the same time. So there's multiple ways to extend your products that you can buy in the store for sauces.
And someone just mentioned that she loves to freeze sauces. So, if you have that jar of tomato sauce and you don't think you're going to use it up all in that week, put it in a container and freeze it, and then you can use it for later.
And label it.
And label it, yeah. So you know when you actually put it in the freezer.
And if you want space, you can always go to the 99-cent store, buy ice cube trays, pour those sauces in there, and then just use little small sandwich bags. And then you can store them in your freezer to have for multiple uses. They make great little ice cube sauce.
That's a really good idea.
Question that came into the Q&A. This is wonderful. And of course, you're a professional, Chef Nathan and Lindsay. But for someone who isn't, what's a good place to start for like kitchen 101 tips? Like how to pick produce, what knives to use, best dishes for roasting and baking. Not knowing any of this is keeping this person from wanting to be in the kitchen. So where can they learn some basics?
Well, 8-inch chef knife is what I use. So it's versatile to pretty much any kind of cutting you need to have. And then, cooking's based on how you like things. It's not always about what a chef teaches you how to do. It's trial and error. I failed a lot in my career, and I've redone things in practice. So it's just, taste as you go. And if you like that flavor, then it's great for you. If you're cooking for yourself, it's really a general of what you like and what you prefer to have in your food. So, anybody can cook. It's just a trial and error. So you like something, start off small and then expand from there. Can't go wrong with roasting, sauteing, and pan frying with light oil to start any project you'd like to do.
So I'm trying to think of some specific resources for a beginner cook. That might be a list that we can come up with later and post that on the EatWell resource page. But one that's sticking out in my mind right now, it's a really large website called The Kitchen, but there's no E, it's KITCHN. So they have a lot of things that are grouped by categories. So if you're looking for, I don't know, 10-minute full recipes. So they have a lot of things like that. So that might be a good place to start, but I think that's actually a great idea for us to put together a resource list that we can post on the EatWell page.
Pinterest as well has a lot of top 10 easy ways to meal prep, cook, and you can search recipes that are easy to start and try from there as well.
I see a question here. How to meal prep for picky eaters?
Well,
do you have any tips for that? You got kids?
Yeah, I have kids, so they all have their different tastes. Again, it's just simple ingredients. So don't go too far with, picking a recipe that has 19 different ingredients. Go simple. You can't go wrong with salt, pepper, garlic at all. Can't go wrong with, onions, carrots, and vegetables. I actually cut my onions really small. My kids never know I actually put it in the dishes that they eat. And then, so there's different ways to hide things that make great flavors in there. But just start with simple ingredients. You can't go wrong with salt, pepper, and garlic to start seasoning vegetables. And and meats and stuff like that. So, you know, and then expand as they grow with you while you're learning how to meal prep.
And that's actually a great point about using simple ingredients, because let's say you're just doing something like a simple roasted chicken or grilled chicken. I mean, you can use that in so many different ways. You can turn that into a sandwich. Maybe the other person in your family doesn't like sandwiches, so you can put that on a quesadilla. So yes, I think simple ingredients are probably the key when you're dealing with picky eaters.
And a good tip in the chat, keep it simple. And if they help make it, they're invested to eat it.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. Any other questions about the demo that you saw? I know that was quick, and I'm sure it took you way longer to prep everything, Chef Nathan, so thank you for that. Just wanted to make sure that you all can see my screen. Feel free to keep putting questions in the chat, but with our 4 minutes left, I just wanted to move forward and let everyone know that we have one more session for EatWell Bites this year. Our next session is on Thursday, December 7th with Susan Kim, and the session will be on decoding food labels. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Lindsey to share some exciting announcements we have coming out of our Healthy Campus Eat Well subcommittee.
Okay, I'm off mute now. Sorry about that. Okay, so we just wanted to point a few things out here. Some exciting things we have going on from the Eat Well subcommittee. Scan that QR code that's on the screen, and that will take you to the Eat Well page that has a ton of resources, simple, healthy cooking videos. So the person who was asking about the Cooking 101, some of those videos are going to be key for you, I think. Also, I want to mention the Eat Well meals at the Tudor Campus Center food court have arrived. So you're going to see on the mobile ordering app and the ordering kiosks that there's an Eat Well section. So all of those meals were designed to fit within a set of curated nutritional guidelines. So that is brand new. We hope you guys check that out. Also, we have the Healthier Dining Guide on campus that you see on the left-hand side of the screen there. And so I put that together, and you can find that as well on the Eat Well site and the USC Hospitality website.
Great, thank you so much, Lindsey. And we encourage all of you to
spread the word about those Eat Well meals. We want to continue to grow those.
Absolutely. As you purchase more, we can expand more into UPC and HSC. So look for the branded Eat Well meals and our guides.
Julie, do you see any more questions?
I don't see any questions.
Oops.
So if we can ask you all to do our survey, that would be great. Thank you so much, Lindsey and Chef Nathan, for this wonderful demo. And please fill out the evaluation. Your feedback is really important to us, and we hope to continue in the spring. So give us suggestions for future topics, although we have some plan, and look for announcements to come in a few weeks. And with that, we would like to end with a raffle, unless there's anything Lindsey or Chef Nathan wants to say before we do the raffle. I'll stop sharing.
No, I think we're okay. Just thank you so much to everyone for joining us. And you'll have access to the recipes that Chef demoed today, as well as the bowl formula handout and that handy food storage guide.
Great. Okay, let's do our raffle. We have all the winners, not the winners, all of you who entered here in the wheel. Aurora Ramirez. Congratulations, Aurora. We will be in touch with you to send you your Trader Joe's gift card.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And thank you everyone for being here today. We hope to see you next month and spread the word to other USC faculty and staff. Thank you so much.